opener against Tarleton State. 5 players scored in double figures. Meanwhile, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, an 83-56 win over Trinity in their opener the other night. Starting 5 for the Mustangs: Edwards, Miller, Corey Washington, a really nice addition. Sam Walters, and the Turkish Tower on the interior. Yigitoglu. He's got it one-on-one. Nice move off the heel, and the rebound, Islanders underneath.
Yeah, good to see. Didn't get doubled early on, so he's going to have some one-on-one matchups. When he's better, talking to Coach Enfield before at shoot-around was when he gets deeper position. That time got pushed further off the block.
Islanders throw it away on their opening possession. Our first turnover of the game.
Yeah, big key in this one is being able to take care of the rock. You don't want to fuel this SMU Mustang team and give them easy baskets. That one was not a live ball turnover, so fortunately they get to take it out if you're an Islanders fan.
They go with Torbor, Gibson, Parker, Williams, and Yetna. They're 5. 2 returners in the starting lineup, and a foul out high on the logo. That is Sheldon Williams, the veteran leader on this team, a senior from Atmore, Alabama, picks up our first foul. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, 4 straight 20-win seasons. They're a scrappy bunch. They went 20-14 last year, 12-8 in the Southland Conference under head coach Jim Shaw.
Yeah, Jim's done a terrific job in his 2 years and was an assistant for 2 years under Steve Lutz, now at Oklahoma State. They've built a really power in the Southland Conference, going to the tournament those first 2 years with Coach Lutz, and then back-to-back 20-win seasons. People don't understand how hard it is to do to win 20 games in a single season, let alone do it back-to-back. Coach Shaw has done a terrific job.
They have back-to-back second-place finishes in the Southland and a steal. Fueling the break, they kick to the corner. Gibson, he's a sharpshooter. That one's off the mark, and a foul over the back on the rebound. Called on Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. That'll be on Leo Torbor, his first.
Yeah, you see a little bit of the pace that time. They pushed it in transition, were able to get their best shooter and leading scorer a wide open look from 3. Didn't knock that one down, but that's the kind of quality of shot the Islanders want to get.
They're a fascinating case study because they play fast, they score a ton of points, but they don't shoot or make a ton of threes outside of Gibson. Miller had it partially blocked. Yigitoglu underneath, a miss from point-blank range. Powering up and in, Corey Washington, and that's that X factor that he brings to the table.
Yeah, what a great addition to this roster. A guy who brings toughness, he can rebound, he can kind of play inside and out, although he's more of a big guard. But there you see him in the trenches, an exceptional rebounder, has had 20-point rebounds games in his career. Just a guy who can really, really go get it.
Had 9 double-doubles last year for Wichita State. And he caps off the old-fashioned 3 to get SMU on the board. SMU applying some pressure, a long heave out near midcourt. Bumping and banging into Yigitoglu with the denial underneath.
Yeah, that's the reason why we featured him in the beginning. He's a guy who can really change the game on that side of the ball, taking away the rim.
Some sloppy play, another miscue. Losing the handle out of bounds. It'll stay on this end of the floor. Both of these teams look a little sped up here at the onset.
Yeah, you know, the pace of it, it's still the second game. Fans, we want to see a finished product, but it's still the second game of the season, second time playing in front of the lights. And the Islanders have done a terrific job of sitting on top of and clogging the paint to take away rim rolls from the bigs.
Gibson turning the corner, and he feathers it in off the glass.
Yeah, feathers is a great word to use. That was not an easy layup at all. Making shots are part of the keys for Corpus. You saw him make a tough one there, and limiting turnovers don't want to fuel this SMU offense. Meanwhile, for SMU, they must dominate the paint. They've struggled to do so far, and they must limit turnovers, which they have turned the ball over themselves.
Underneath, shot bothered at the rim. A triple team down low. We've played over 2.5 minutes, 5 combined points. It's a sluggish, sloppy start. Gibson, a high arcing three is an air ball. Half hook is through for Williams.
Again, the extra effort plays. That's what Corpus Christi hangs their hat on. Effort, going to get it, being a tough, hard-nosed program. And you can see an example of that right there.
Pick and roll underneath. Third missed layup at the rim for SMU. Islanders want to push. Corner three, Gibson is money. And Texas A&M-Corpus Christi forces an SMU timeout.
Yeah, just got to tip your hat. This is how you have to come in on the road in an environment like this.
Islanders have jumped out to a 4-point lead before the first immediate timeout. It's 7-3. They have come in here to Moody Coliseum playing with no fear.
Yeah, absolutely no fear, and kind of taking on the personality of their head coach. He's a hard-nosed coach. He's kind of a soft-spoken, more quiet, laid-back guy on the sideline. But if you know anything about Coach Shaw and what he believes in his program, he wants his guys to play with that kind of toughness and that kind of edge, and they are bringing that to Moody Coliseum.
This is a team that's been to NCAA tournaments. They have a lot of transfers with tournament experience from other stops, and SMU with another turnover. That is number 3 in the early action.
Well, what they're doing is they want to take away those passes. They want to make your entry pass be pushed out further, and they want to disrupt you defensively. So far they have had success forcing SMU to turn it over.
Gibson, rise and fire, blocked by Washington. Miller, long two.
Well, the surprising thing so far, too, is the more physical talent and stature team is SMU, but the most physical team so far has been the Islanders. It's not even close, and they've really kept SMU from wanting to get into the paint.
They have come ready to play here on the road. Shot clock into single digits and a foul, and this will put the Islanders at the line. When we come back, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi in our first media timeout hold a 7-3 lead here in Dallas.
This season, specifically a lot younger, but according to head coach Andy Enfield, that is exactly how he wanted it. SMU brought in the nation's 4th-ranked high school recruiting class, the highest-rated class in program history, featuring 4 four-star freshmen. Coach Enfield said they made a strategic decision to recruit freshmen this season, giving them playing time early to develop and grow together. He told me that they're not looking to bring in 10 new guys every year. They want to develop this core, add a few transfers here and there for experience, and build something sustainable. Coach said this group is bigger, longer, and more athletic than last season, and he believes that even though this team is young, they have the talent to compete at the top of the ACC and make their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2017.
Coach Andy Enfield, thanks Bree, said that, and he was very clear in terms of expectations. It is to be in the dance in March, back in that NCAA tournament as SMU with their 4th turnover.
Yeah, you're talking about a gentleman that's already taken 2 programs himself that he's led in Florida Gulf Coast and USC to the NCAA tournament multiple times. So he came here for that reason, and the next goal once they get there is going to be win games in the tournament.
It's a 9-0 run from the Islanders. Deep in the timer, they have to hoist, almost hit, and Washington, a man among boys, plucks the rebound.
Yeah, that's one of the things he does well. He goes up and gets rebounds, whether on the offensive side or defensive side of the ball.
He's a high-energy guy, and here he is taking out the trash.
Yeah, just an irreplaceable motor and toughness that you have to have on a winning program. You have a lot of guys that can score. He's not going to get the same press clippings as some of the other and the same notoriety, but coach knows and this staff and team knows how important he is to winning.
He has all 5 of SMU's points. Gibson's 3 sputters across the rim. SMU on the trot. Washington lines it up. And Texas A&M-Corpus Christi hanging with SMU on the rebounds, on the glass. It's 8-7 there. The height advantage was a huge concern for Coach Shaw and the Islanders coming into this game. They're not real big.
That's where they say heart over height more times than not.
Deep in the shot clock. Throwing up a prayer is an air bank, and it's rebounded by the Mustangs.
And the big thing for Corpus Christi is being able to sustain what they've done so far.
Nice pass and the finish from Holmes, the assist, Pierre Jr.
Yeah, great unselfish play there. Pierre, known as a scorer and a guy who can really get buckets, getting his big man involved. Great feel on that possession.
Texas A&M-Corpus Christi runs into a brick wall underneath, but they call Holmes with the foul. One of those heralded freshmen on this roster.
Yeah, here you see Pierre gets in, draws two. Big man was probably a little surprised. He's like, I'm used to you shooting it, but he was ready to go get it either way. And nice pass. And those are the kind of possessions they need more of. Take advantage of the height advantages they do have.
What do you like most about Pierre's game?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think just, naturally just somebody who's competitive, he's aggressive, and he can score anywhere on the floor. So you love a guy who can fill up a stat sheet like that. I think what the staff and being around him wants to see the next level of is the complete game, what you just saw, and the approach every single day on every possession. And if they can get this young man to do that, they have a real gem that can help him in the ACC.
He's got all the tools, 6'5", scored over 21 points per game a season ago at Jacksonville State, was the Conference USA Player of the Year, but he also averaged almost 4 assists per game.
Yeah, he's a guy that there's no doubt about his talent. As you get to higher levels, your approach has to be just as good as your talent. And when his approach matches his talent is when, again, he'll take off.
A dunk underneath from Yigitoglu, the assist, Edwards.
Speaking of taking off, big man said, I don't want to lay it up. I just need to dunk it. If I dunk it from now on, we're good. Nice pass, nice finish.
First basket of the game for the 7-footer. 2-point lead for the road Texas A&M-Corpus Christi Islanders. Dashing baseline, hanging, +1. D.A. Houston with the basket.
Yeah, that's exactly the example of being heart over height. Doesn't matter how big you are. He came with physicality and took the attack to Yigitoglu, got the contact, and then was able to finish. Those plays like that give you a ton of confidence to say, you know what, I know you're big in there, but we're bringing the fight to you. And when you have success on those plays, it makes you believe you can win.
He's one of those guys that has played in multiple NCAA tournaments when he was at Longwood, his first year in this Islander program.
Yeah, just a winner, a guy who Coach Shaw covets those guys who understand winning and have seen it and been through it.
7 to shoot. After the offensive rebound, they get another bite at the apple. Horton one-on-one, probing, off balance, SMU clamping down, and with a chance to run. Push pass too far out in front of Jermaine O'Neal Jr. and the 5th SMU blunder.
And everybody in the building was ready for that highlight that was about to come with that.
Here's a look at Jim Shaw in his 3rd season. As you noted earlier, spent a lot of time under Steve Lutz as an assistant before he got the head coaching job. Knows the state well. He was an assistant at Texas State, Tarleton State, among others. And the sweeping scooper from the big man on the interior gives Texas A&M-Corpus Christi a 6-point cushion.
Yeah, what a dime by Houston, too. Great job on the pick and roll, probing, and then putting it right on the money with the pocket pass.
SMU has started just 4 for 12 from the floor, and they've turned it over 5 times. Yigitoglu had it swiped out of bounds. Timeout on the floor. It'll be SMU possession when we come back, trailing at home by 6 to the Islanders. 15-9. The turnovers, SMU has 5. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi just 1. What have the Islanders done to make life difficult for SMU?
Well, you can see it. They're just so active with their hands and in the passing lane. Some of it has been a little bit unforced, but most of it has been because they've been so aggressive to get in the passing lanes and not give the space and the comfort level. They've been very disruptive, and it's led to them having 2 more shots than SMU and 2 more free throw attempts, which hence is why they're up.
SMU's only attempted 1 free throw. They shot nearly 50 the other night. To miss 3 from Walters. It's been one and done for the most part on this end.
Yeah, not only that, but they just have not played inside out. They've played a lot behind the perimeter only. They haven't really gotten inside of the three-point line to make plays.
Hook pass, downhill, nice move, and the finish from Michelini Jackson.
And then what happens, I said this earlier, what happens, the more and more you can play well, the more belief you create to think that, hey, we can go on the road, we can figure this out. Like, this game plan is working, Coach.
O'Neal Jr. from the top, he hits the dot. First SMU 3 of the night.
Yeah, you talk about another one of those talented freshmen. Father was a big-time NBA player, went to the NBA from high school, long-time NBA All-Star for the Indiana Pacers. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. is a talented prospect.
Corner 3, up and in. Cam Parker hit 24 threes a season ago.
Yeah, and they just have so many guys that contribute. They've substituted, they play a deep bench, and they don't have much of a drop-off. That says a lot about the culture, again, of what they're doing in Corpus Christi.
That was a tough shot from Pierre Jr. Driving kick, batted out of bounds. It will stay on this end with the Islanders. But to your point, the longer they're in this game, the more they start to believe that this thing could happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing quarters, we're 1 quarter in and they're up 8. So can you stack, again, those 4-minute games is what coaches often keep track of. Coach Shaw actually said this in their strategy is, hey, we want to win every 4-minute game and give ourselves a chance at the end. Well, so far they've won the first 2 4-minute games.
A 3 from the left wing, around and out. Rebound, shovel, bucket, no, and it's cleaned up by SMU.
Again, one of those notes, we talked about both teams playing fast. Corpus Christi's done an outstanding job in defensive transition. They have not given up transition points yet to this lightning fast SMU team.
8-point lead for the road dogs, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Stop and start, Houston can't finish. O'Neal Jr. pulls it out of the pack, SMU has numbers. Washington, extra pass and a double-fisted +1 dunk from Yigitoglu.
Yeah, finally got one of those to go, and this is what you need if you're SMU to get going, is get some easy baskets, get some exciting plays. Jermaine O'Neal, unselfish. 4 guys touch the ball in this possession, and way to run the floor, big man, gets rewarded. And sometimes those are the plays you need to get confidence and settle in and say, okay, we've been playing, we haven't played great, but we just got to get some more plays like this, string those together, and get confidence playing in our own building.
Coming off a 12-point, 8-rebound, 3-block game on Monday against Tarleton State. Shot 56% from the foul line a season ago.
One of the areas they were excited about Yigitoglu's improvement is his free throw stroke, because now when he gets down there with his physical play and his height, you can get rewarded and get those points. Last year, 50% of the time, those weren't going in.
That one there looked picture perfect.
Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Trims it to a 5-point deficit for SMU, showing some zone defensively. Ambrose catches in the middle, nearly throws it away, and he did touch the midcourt line. Turnover, Islanders just their 2nd.
And you do that zone, if you remember the Tarleton game, this is a big part of what helped them get the win, was changing it up. Sometimes the disruption has to come in different ways. They haven't been able to do it in man, and changing up the defense to that matchup zone forced that turnover, which again gives SMU a chance to now even up the possessions.
Is the idea with the zone to try and limit some of that dribble penetration Coach was concerned about?
Yeah, it's just kind of giving a different look. Coach was talking about this actually in shoot-around too. Some teams are good against zone. Some teams are good against man. You don't always know. But you know that one's going in when the big man gets 2 dribbles or less. It's usually a good sign. And that was a great finish there. And that dunk, he's kind of putting together some back-to-back plays where he's feeling good about his impact.
Up to 7 points, 4 rebounds, and a turnover. SMU with momentum. They've trimmed it to 3 with 8:35 to play before the half.
I think they were thinking about passing it to you. I don't know for sure, but pretty close.
Catch and shoot. Let it fly.
That's the motto.
Inside-out basketball.
But let's see what the Mustangs can do here. Are they going to catch and shoot or go inside out themselves?
Miller has started 0 for 4 from the floor. Their top scorer on Monday. Yigitoglu back to work, and he draws another foul. And taking over on the offensive end.
Yeah, this is why you feature, we talked about him in the open. He is a guy in this type of game where he can really make a difference because he's so physical, so strong, and there you see you have no choice but to foul him. And this is where that offseason work comes in, of the free throw shooting and the free throw touch. Made the first one, that should give him some good confidence. Shot it well in the first game also, and they're definitely excited about the progression for this rising sophomore.
He had some huge games last year. 20 points and 7 rebounds against NC State. Against Virginia, 16 points and 16 boards. And he's 2 for 2 from the line.
Yeah, and you can tell he's taking his time. He's under control. He's holding his follow through. Again, putting the reps in with this staff. The player development, Coach Enfield talked about this too. Something he truly believes in is the player development. Developing players, you mentioned it as well. Having players that are going to be here longer than just 1 year in a time period where so many people are transferring and changing. You want to build that continuity, and that's how you can develop players.
He looks confident at the line, too. I mean, he looks like a guy that's an 80% foul shooter, the way he approaches.
They would definitely take 80% without a doubt. 3 for 3 is a great start for that.
He's got 9 points, 4 rebounds in his 8 minutes, and he gets a breather.
Yeah, SMU staying in the matchup zone.
Teardrop from Torbor.
Yeah, I love the composure of this Corpus Christi squad. Just no rush, no rattle. Even though they've turned it over, you don't see a lot of emotions and a lot of highs and lows. They're a steady team.
Miller with the blow-by, bumped, and that will put Boopie Miller at the free throw line. Looking for his first points of the contest. Sends us to the under-8s, 22-19. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi with a 3-point lead here on the road.
Coaches and soaking in everything from recruiting to scouting reports to the day-to-day process of running a program. Coach Shaw says he took a little bit from everyone in every position he worked with along the way. Lessons that now shape how he leads his own team here with the Islanders. But Brian, how beneficial is it to be able to do all those other positions like a video coordinator before becoming a head coach?
Well, I think, number one, it gives you this relatability. You can relate to everyone in your program because you've had every position. So you don't have the misunderstanding. You actually understand it from firsthand knowledge. But I also just think it gives you that sweat equity. You've built it from literally being a video coordinator. You hear guys like Eric Spoelstra having a similar path as an NBA head coach. And during my time coaching college basketball, I got to see Coach Shaw climb the ranks from director of ops to assistant to associate coach to now where he's at. And it's been amazing to see, and it just goes to show, like, just the same thing with these players. If you put in the work and you do right by people, great things come from it.
Islanders with 4 consecutive 20-win seasons. 2 of them from Coach Shaw, who enters year 3. Pocket pass knocked away, and SMU forces the 4th Islander turnover.
Yeah, the zone has been good to them. Just kind of, again, not letting Corpus Christi be comfortable. Sometimes early in the year, you don't have much of a zone offense or understanding how to play against zones. Just the second game. But here you do understand how to get on the floor and play gritty basketball, what Corpus Christi has done all night long, leading to that.
A three from Yetna. Franck Yetna from Paris, France. The Frenchman steps outside and gives the Islanders a 4-point lead.
Well, just the takeaways. They're more aggressive to the 50-50 balls. Any ball that could go either way, they are going to get it and taking it and then making something happen with it.
SMU needs a spark. The big, soft touch from Holmes, the half hook.
Tell you what, the backcourt for SMU has been very limited in this game so far. Just the 2 points for Miller. Meanwhile, Corpus Christi's guards have 16 points in this game, so that's been a big difference so far.
Edwards and Miller for SMU, who both had over 20 in the opener, have combined for 2 points, and they're 0 for 5 from the field. Out of control, losing it out of bounds. It will stay on this end with Corpus Christi. How does SMU get those two guys involved, B.J. Edwards and Boopie Miller, without forcing?
Yeah, good question. I think some of it is on those guys because they are on the floor, but like you saw with Miller the last possession, he just has to make his mind up. He's done a good job facilitating, but he has to be the head of the snake and go make the plays when his team needs it.
Outside, a three, around and out. Offensive rebound, third look for the Islanders. Another offensive rebound. Up and under, miss. SMU finally claims it.
Yeah, literally one of those possessions where you're going to see that on film over and over again. These guys cannot get out hustled, but Corpus Christi able to come away with the stop. And again, they're just they have more urgency. They're the team that wants it more right now based on the effort alone. You can just see it. They are taking the fight to this SMU team in every aspect, including on the glass.
5:36 to go before the half. What are you telling your guys at the break if you're SMU coach Andy Enfield?
Yeah, this is going to be a fight, and you've let this team get confidence, so you have to find a way to, again, play our brand of basketball, settle into the game, but you can't get out-toughed in your own building. I think that will be the biggest message in anything. It's not about offense and defense, it's about toughness and a will, and they have the stronger will right now.
SMU is 1 for 6 from downtown. Long two straight away, around and out, rebound Mustangs. SMU has not led since it was 3-2, 2 minutes into the contest.
Well, and they replaced 3 guys that just graduated. They were all double-figure scorers, and you replaced those guys with a lot of freshmen. So they have a good upside to this team, but they also have a lot of learning to do.
Coach Enfield in his second year was at USC from 2013 to 2024, Dunk City with Florida Gulf Coast and their incredible NCAA tournament run as a 15 seed. He has coached 8 NBA draft picks since 2018. That ranks among college basketball's best. Miller back at the line. And he gets the back into the bonus. SMU is a perfect 7 for 7 as a team from the stripe in this first half.
Well, you asked that question too, and as poorly as SMU's played, they have a chance to tie the game. So it's been ugly. They haven't shot the ball well whatsoever. They're 36% on the game. But what they are right now is they're in the bonus with 5 minutes left. And as a guy who analyzes basketball and former coach, that is a big sign that you tell all your team, hey, we're in the bonus. So you get rewarded by any touch foul. So it's time to turn up the aggressiveness. And someone like Boopie Miller would be the main one to do that, attacking off the bounce.
SMU attempted 42 free throws on Monday in their win. And we are knotted up at 25. Under 5 to play in this first session. 10 to shoot. From the top, a long three, way off the mark, and it's fetched by SMU, trying to save it. Ahead to Miller.
SMU dodged the bullet there. There's a big no-no to save the ball in front of your basket. You always want to throw it towards your basket, not in front of the basket you defend.
Yigitoglu one-on-one gives it up. 8 to shoot. Miller leaning. That's pretty.
This is where it's Miller time. He understands the pace of the game. Let me get my teammates involved early. I know I have the ball in my hands every possession. I can make plays at any point in time. And you see him really turning it up in this last handful of minutes, getting 6 points.
That's his first points that didn't come from the foul line in this first half. A reach-in foul called on a Mustang on this end. Team foul number 4 on SMU sends us to a break with 3:52 to go in the first. SMU has their first lead since it was 3-2. They lead it by a basket. .60 run over the last 2:47 that they've held the Islanders scoreless for over 3 minutes. How have they done it?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the zone. They went to the matchup zone. It's caused a little bit of confusion. They've been able to get into getting some stops and playing faster, playing in transition, and really has a lot to do with also on the offensive side. Miller has gotten even more engaged. As one of the best point guards in the country, he is starting to separate and get his team exactly where they want to be, which is leading this game.
8 to shoot for the Islanders. They hoist a 3, barely scrapes the rim. Offensive rebound, erased by Yigitoglu. And the big man rips down the rebound.
Yeah, 2 of the last 14. They've missed 0 of their last 9 shots. That's where the defense is really kicking in. And there you see the transition bucket. Little left-handed scoop.
Walters, a former top 60 recruit out of high school, transfer from Michigan. 3 and change to play in this first half. SMU, believe it or not, this is their largest lead of the game. And the scoring drought continues for Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, running 4 minutes and counting.
Well, and if you look at those last few shots, Yigitoglu has, again, he's disrupted in the paint with his length. Doesn't always block the shot, but he takes away your vision where you can't see it clearly, and he forces misses. And that time, stretches all the way out to the three-point line and disrupts that 3 for an air ball. And again, the defense is starting to pick up, which definitely helps you settle into the game and get your offense going. SMU's run continues.
Nice cut and the feed, the finish from Pierre Jr., the assist Walters.
Yeah, the momentum is all going the Mustangs' way. Islanders have to find a way now to get in control going into the half. You don't want to let this get above 10.
Timeout on the floor with 2:37 to go in the first. SMU has their largest lead here at home. Back here at Moody Coliseum, SMU getting points at the rim and the vision from Walters.
Again, a great design play. Yigitoglu set the back screen for Pierre. Again, you have one of your best passing forwards giving the ball up. And again, that's where the game management of this whole thing comes into play. Coach Enfield understands on the run, how can we make sure we get an easy bucket and stretch this lead? And instead of the pressure being on SMU now, the pressure is now on the Islanders because now they are down and they feel the game kind of slipping away from them.
Mustangs are on a 10-0 flurry over the last 4 minutes. They're back in their matchup zone, which has been problematic. Missed a jumper, rebound Mustangs.
Yeah, 0 of their last 11 again. Just an awesome job by SMU. It's led to their 10-0 run. Can they control it and keep building onto it?
Yigitoglu leads SMU in scoring. He has 9 in this first half. Deep in the timer, wild shot from Miller. Thought he was fouled, no whistle.
Sometimes you try to sell some of those contact fouls and don't get it.
Dashing baseline, a turnover. SMU can run. Hop step from Pierre. And the Islanders take it away.
This is where the toughness of the Islanders. They've proven to be tough and solid defensively, so referees, because they haven't shown that undisciplined, they're not biting at the cell near as much as you would sometimes.
Drive-in kick, and on the catch, Corpus Christi is out of bounds. Well, it's not been real pretty with 1:17 to go. This has been kind of a sloppy game, a lot of turnovers. SMU's not shot it well. Neither team has shot it well from beyond the arc. They're a combined 4 of 20, but SMU on a 10-0 run, some momentum if they can sustain it heading into the locker room.
Yeah, it looks like we're in the second game of the season right about now. With two teams that are both competing for a win, but both under 40% and both shooting 20% or less from three. One of those games where it's like, you know you're going to have those shooting nights. What other intangibles are going to show up to help you lead to a win?
Pirouetting, another miss. That's 12 straight misses from Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Scoring drought over 6 minutes for the Islanders. Edwards hasn't scored. He had it stripped.
Well, the thing it hasn't done for Corpus Christi, they haven't changed how hard they play. And again, they're only down just 6, given the fact they've missed their last 12 baskets. Excuse me, last 14 baskets.
Should put Yigitoglu at the line.
To me, that's again when he's at his best. When he gets that deep position where all he has to do is catch, turn, and go up, really hard to stop him there. And again, this is what the staff is so excited about, is again, the development of his free throw shooting has been perfect from the free throw stripe so far. Has 9 points, 5 rebounds, creeping into that, again, double-double type of production already at the half. And just a guy who has such a promising upside with this team, taking a big step as a sophomore. One of the heralded recruits in last year's recruiting class as a freshman. And if you think about the freshman class with the freshman class they put together this year and the transfers, you have no choice but to get excited on the heel of what Coach Enfield and his staff is building.
You know, and a really underrated part of his game is his ability as a passer. I mean, he had 41 assists.
Yep.
Only 23 turnovers last year at 7 feet tall. That's that European style of basketball.
Yeah, he's skilled, he's tough, he's got the height, and now he's making free throws. And that wasn't a broadcaster's jinx. He missed it before me, but
that was a straight line miss, though.
It was.
It was a good miss. Front rim, just a little short.
Islanders going to try to hold for one. See if they can get one more basket or 2 points on the board before the half.
Could be the difference between a 3-possession deficit or a 2-possession halftime deficit. A 3 is nails. Gibson makes it 32-28. SMU by 4 at the break. That was a big basket for the Islanders. They have fought here on the
used to practicing against zone, and a matchup zone is also not something you're used to, but nevertheless, here is the second half, and if they can bring the same fight and make a few more shots, they'll be in position. SMU does not want that.
Turning the corner, nice pass underneath. It's fumbled out of bounds. Now, Coach, where was the Brian Burton sweet spot when you're attacking a zone?
Yeah, I mean, the middle of the zone. You want to always get the ball to the middle of the zone. You want to be engaged 2 defenders, and you still, the zone makes you kind of think more and be less active. You're less comfortable, but you still want to be able to attack inside out and get the ball to the middle of the zone.
But where was your sweet spot?
Everywhere.
As a player?
Everywhere.
That's the answer.
Everywhere.
Walks into the gym, walking bucket.
Less about the bucket, but I can find the bucket anywhere, whether it was me or somewhere else.
Yigitoglu gets called for a walk. Well, I don't know what you have on the calendar for Saturday afternoons, but I've got a house full of boys that could use some shooting drills.
We do that. Come on.
Now, they can only pay you in fruit snacks and Capri Suns, so as long as you're cool with that,
we can make it work.
We'll get you over to the house.
We can make it work.
4-point lead for SMU. They just turned it over. Corpus Christi with the rock. A hop step, an inadvertent horn.
Hadn't been able to start the shot clock for some reason. Sometimes the technology, it's still the second game of the year, you know, still working out the kinks as well. The teams are working out, refs, the technology over there.
In terms of, you know, the flow of the game, this is November basketball.
It is absolutely. It is first week in November basketball at that. We're not talking about late around Thanksgiving when it's tournament time. A lot of these tournaments that teams are playing in, but
SMU has Murray State coming up on the 11th, and then they play Butler. They'll play at Mississippi State that Thanksgiving weekend that you noted. At Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, LSU, all on the schedule before the calendar rolls over for the new year. And this is a team that, I mean, in my eyes, if Boopie Miller stays healthy all year, he started the first 28 games, suffers an injury, some losses piled up. Like, I think this team was in the dance last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Enfield talked about it. They finished 4th in the ACC, which no one expected that in year one for him. And what an outstanding job he did with his staff and the recruiting. And I think we haven't talked about Jaden Toombs yet, but he's one of the best freshmen in the country. The 6'10" big man was a vote away from being a McDonald's. He played in the Jordan Brand game. He's a USA kid. He's one of those players that kind of an old school player that has that old school feel, but at 6'10", 230, he's as talented as any player on this SMU roster, despite just being a freshman. So when he's able to get back within 2 weeks, they'll look even more different because they'll have, again, Jermaine O'Neal's son's teammate. He also played for Jermaine O'Neal and has been under his tutelage, so a local product that has, I mean, he has everything that you want in a big man. And as many freshmen as we're seeing across the country that are having big-time years, he's going to be one of those that people are going to be raving about without a doubt.
He's a top 40 prospect, a consensus 4-star, and Coach said at shoot-around, Coach Enfield said that he would be starting tonight, I mean, if he was healthy.
No question. He's one of the best freshmen in the country, no matter where you are, no matter what freshman you're seeing play well right now. He's in that same conversation, the young man from Dynamic Prep.
Meanwhile, for Texas A&M-Corpus Christi, they play at Tarleton State here in about 48 hours, and then they hit the road to play Kansas and Oklahoma State, back-to-back road games. Have you seen Jaron Peterson at KU?
Another one of those freshmen.
He's a dude.
Oh, he's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. This freshman class, I mean, you throw in Boozer's son, you throw in Koa Pete at Arizona. There's so many names.
Dobonsa at BYU.
You can keep going on. How could I forget him? I mean, he's probably the consensus #1 pick. So you have so many of these talented freshmen. It makes college basketball fun anytime you have not only the returners that are good, but these freshmen that are making a name. Carmelo Anthony's son over at Syracuse as well. Anthony. Almost had a lob dunk there as we get straight from the party in the intermission straight to a lob.
Walters spots for 3, wide right. Still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that Carmelo Anthony's son is a freshman. Feels like he was winning a championship at Syracuse yesterday.
It really does. It really does. And how cool of a story for him to go to Syracuse and continue his father's legacy. Carmelo just put into the Hall of Fame, well-deserved, tremendous career, but had as good of a freshman year as you could ever have.
Miller looking for his first 3, short, and it's out of bounds. It will stay on this end with the Mustangs.
Yeah, one of those games. This game has just been very kind of ugly, choppy, not very smooth. Hasn't been a ton of field goals. Only 21 made shots in the game. Just kind of been one of those nights where you got to find a way.
Miller can't finish. It's 1 for 9 tonight from the field. 6 points for Boopie Miller, who averaged over 13 a season ago. Shimmy shank. Gibson has it denied by Walters. SMU pushing tempo. They gallop ahead and they lay it in with Washington on the finish.
Probably the cleanest transition they've had all game long. Comes from the block. Great job on the defense, leading the offense. That's what this SMU team needs.
Pushes their lead to 6. Top of the key 3 is down from Sheldon Williams. He did not make a 3 all of last season. He was 0 for 5.
Yeah, he shot that one like he's been doing it this offseason. It's what you love about the offseason is the development. And here you see more diving on the floor, the gritty play from both teams, fighting, finding
rugby
a way.
Scrum and a tie-up. And the arrow keeps it on this end with SMU.
Yeah, you got to love it. This is the part of November basketball that you love. Whether it's November, December, October, doesn't matter. You love to see young men putting it all on the floor to just give their all to come up with the basketball. And Corpus Christi just continuing to embody that toughness and that gritty underdog mentality. You said it, back-to-back 20 wins, not to mention 20-win seasons, not to mention 2 years before that going to the tournament. They are here to earn everything that they get.
And it shouldn't be surprising that Corey Washington was the first Mustang in the scrum. He is a dog, a transfer from Wichita State. And we've got a foul underneath the basket called on an Islander. That goes against Leo Torbor.
Well, Washington's the one that kind of stood up and said, hey, I'm taking this ball. I appreciate you guys' hustle. Thanks for diving. This is my house.
Had 9 double-doubles a year ago for the Shockers. A huge game in a primetime spot against Memphis.
Well, this is where B.J. Edwards has not had an imprint on his game on either side of the ball. They needed that bucket from him, but he has to be a guy, and talking to Coach Enfield again at the shoot-around, he said, he's a guy, you're going to be on the floor 30 minutes. We need that extra points from you. We need that production from you, not just being a defensive guy, but finding those spots where you can impact the game and scoring column too.
Those were his first points of the night. Gibson, a miss from the top. Tap in, no. Out of bounds. And it goes back to SMU. The two SMU guards, the backcourt duo of Edwards and Miller, all league guys, are a combined 1 for 12 tonight shooting the basketball.
Yeah, and I would give the credit to Corpus Christi in the way that they have made them a part of their game plan. They've definitely put a lot of energy into being disruptive to them and pushing them. Look at, they're standing at half court, both of them handling the ball. Got to play more inside the arc, and might have got a charge there and did.
Offensive foul against B.J. Edwards. That is his first, and it goes down as his second turnover.
Well, there's a lot on both of those two guys as the two creators on this team that make plays and can make plays for themselves and others. But a textbook charge. Great job again with the game plan of always showing bodies around those two young men. When they get to the paint, we want to have multiple guys that they have to see, because this SMU team, different than last year's team, they don't have the same shooting that they had last year. They don't have multiple 40 and 39 three-point shooter percentage guys, so it makes it a lot tougher where you can clog the paint.
This team had 6 players average over 9 points per game last year, one of just 2 teams in the entire country, but a lot of those depth pieces are gone. They lean on their big three as Yigitoglu throws it away, looking for a streaking Washington. That could have been a dunk.
Well, this is just one of those things too, is like the Kinks. We're talking about 3. Again, you got Matt, who's now playing for the Legends down the street, who was one of their double-figure scorers. You got the other 2 double-figure scorers that were guards that could also fill it up. So you're missing some, again, not only just shooting, but scoring, and that's where they're struggling a little bit today, is just figuring out how do we get a basket against this gritty team.
4 minutes into this second half, Islanders, it's still a 2-possession deficit for the road team. Eight on the shot clock, turning the corner, up and under, ball sits on the rim, and Yetna gets it through.
And this is the thing, they're just hanging around, hanging their hat on their defense. Their offense has not been pretty, but they are hanging around and just down 3 after the first medium.
Foul called out high on D.A. Houston. It will send us to a break.
Do your best, whether it's a test in the classroom, a clinic with kids, or a game on the court. Coach Shaw requires full effort from his team. And finally, plain and simple, play hard. And Brian, I think that play hard part of that rule has really helped them stay in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a program, too, who's lost some of their best players and best freshmen to, quote-unquote higher levels. You got one at Baylor, one at Wyoming in the Mountain West. So, you have 5 returners, 4 true freshmen and 8 transfers, and you bring that together, and you can see how Coach Shaw's been able to do it with his staff because of those mantras of loving your teammate, playing hard, and doing your best. They're committed to that, and that's what's put them in position to be down just 3 with 16 minutes to play on the road.
And almost every player on their roster has JUCO experience.
Yes.
I mean, he recruits the junior college ranks relentlessly.
Yeah.
And he gets these guys to play together. And I love what he said about rebounding travels. If guys can rebound at the JUCO level, they can rebound at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. And just somebody who's recruited, we talked about his background. He's recruited at a lot of levels, and he's also targeted some lower level Division II guys who, even though they've proven at that level, he knows how much that translates to this level. So I think everybody's trying to figure out how to be creative, and when you're not at the ACC, you don't get to go to 4 and 5 stars. You have to be a little more into your evaluation and the details, and that's something that they've done really well.
4 straight 20-plus win seasons. They have wins over UTSA and UTEP the last couple of years. They play all the Texas teams. And they are within 1 possession of SMU at the first media timeout of this second half.
And we saw a team in their conference in New Orleans already get an upset in game 1 against TCU, a Big 12 team, which shocked the whole college basketball landscape to get that kind of a win. Coach Stacey Hollowell doing a terrific job at New Orleans. And anytime, you don't always get to know if you're going to make it to the NCAA tournament, and you don't necessarily care. If you can get a signature win against a power conference school, that is as big as anything, and it helps you in recruiting, it helps your guys believe, and it just helps in all facets, especially bragging rights in the state.
That game was wild. New Orleans led by as many as 20 in the first half against TCU and held on for the win. 8 to shoot. Miller doing work, and he draws a foul in that short corner. They call it on Houston. It is the 3rd team foul against the Islanders.
Well, we talked about this early in the first half too, but the pressure shifts to different teams depending on what's going on. And right now, even though SMU is winning, the pressure is starting to mount on them because they're letting this team hang around, and they haven't had an answer to get them to go away. And it makes possessions a little tighter. So the longer this game goes, they want to figure out how can they stretch out this lead and not have this team get more confidence.
Yigitoglu is SMU's leading scorer with 10. He's on the bench. Holmes powers it through and one. The freshman from Fort Worth has had a nice night.
Yeah, he really has. Part of that big freshman class, and he is a big man in the middle. And this is where they've taken the most advantage all game long. Their bigs have done the work. Yigitoglu and Holmes have been unstoppable inside, either scoring or getting fouled. So if there was anything from this sideline point of view, it's get the ball to the paint to the big man, play from them, because that's where you have the biggest advantage right now.
Knocks through the free throw, gets 3 the hard way, and SMU leads by 6.
A little bit of token pressure, just want to slow them down and then go back to the zone that was so successful in the first half. Let's see if Coach Shaw came up with that zone offense from Coach Bree.
This is where SMU made their run when they went to the zone. Miss underneath, but powering it through Sheldon Williams on the follow.
The best zone offense, shoot it, go get it, put it back.
The Islanders, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country a season ago, led their conference. They had 20 offensive rebounds in their opener.
And that's part of that playing hard mantra.
Pierre, hot pass, Washington up and under, and it's rebounded by Michelini Jackson.
Yeah, Jermaine O'Neal Jr. wanted him to throw it up. Kind of an NBA athlete, if you will, would have probably made a highlight from it. Early kinks still being worked out on that chemistry.
6 minutes into this second half, SMU on the move, leading by 4. Miller attacking, and Miller getting to the foul line. When he was healthy, he led the ACC in free throw attempts a season ago, and he'll head back to the stripe where he is 4 for 4 tonight.
Yeah, just a true Chicago guard, has all the shiftiness to him, has all the playmaking, a big-time player who makes big-time plays in any game, but especially in big-time games. And he understands how to control things very well. Talking to him before the game, he said this offseason was all about the little things, the details, the running with my teammates outside and kind of getting that extra work in from his conditioning, changing his body, from all the things that go into non-basketball stuff that make you a better basketball player. And on top of that, just really excelling at defending, picking up more, competing, and wanting to figure out how can I make more plays for my teammates. I know I can score with the best of them. How can I make more plays and be a better leader? And so far, the staff has been raving about that in him.
Stays with SMU on this end. And when you say Chicago guard, all those characteristics you just rattled off there, like that's what I think of when I think of Chicago guards.
Absolutely. And I didn't say dog, but everybody who knows him knows he is that. So that comes with it.
Another foul underneath. They call that one on Cam Parker, his first. And the team fouls up to 5 this half. Make it 6, I should say, for the Islanders. So SMU could be living at the foul line.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I said in the first half. This is what changed things. They're now 13 free throws in this game. It started with the bonus.
O'Neal spots for a 3. That's an air bank.
Yeah, it started with the bonus in the last 5 minutes of the first half, and now they're in the bonus for 13 minutes. But speaking of, he gets the hoop and the harm, the spin cycle for the Corpus Christi guard. Very nice.
Cam Parker grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, went to Booker T. Washington High School.
Yeah, that was the washing machine right there. Booker T. Washington stand up, takes the contact. Tough, tough finish. And again, this team just continuing to do what they do. One thing I liked about the recruiting philosophy, talking to the coaching staff and associate head coach Ralph Davis, said coach wants us to recruit anybody that he thinks can start. And that way we have a team full of guys who have a chance to start, and then let them decide who the starters are. And you can tell they played so many guys. They played so deep into their bench. So many different, everyone that's played in this game tonight has scored except 2. So you can tell that depth is paying off.
Washington's 3's offline. It's a 2-point game. Texas A&M-Corpus Christi can tie or take the lead on this possession. Jetting baseline, they fling it around the horn. Parker with the left. Washington pulls it down.
Yeah, I think Yigitoglu got a block on that one, making his presence felt on that side of the ball again.
And a reach and foul called on Corpus Christi. This will put Washington at the line in the single bonus.
And really one of those fouls that was unnecessary because they had nowhere to go. SMU's looking for answers still on the offensive side of the ball, and their biggest answer might have to be the free throw line and just living there because of the bonus, because of being aggressive. Meanwhile, Corpus Christi has to defend without fouling. You cannot give SMU easy baskets right now when they are looking for answers offensively.
SMU shot 39% from 3 in their opener. Tonight they are 1 for 10 and 0 for 4 to start this second half.
Yeah, that'll be a big question for this SMU club to answer this season is who, how, and when will you be able to make your three-point shots, and three-point shooting, where will it come from?
Washington gets the back end of the bonus. 8 points, 6 rebounds in 19 minutes tonight.
Yeah, again, one of those guys he's a man amongst boys when he plays his best basketball. His toughness, his grit, his intangibles, they don't all show up on the stat sheet, but a game like today, he has been the difference maker so far as he's headed to a double-double himself with 9 and 6 in just 19 minutes.
SMU pushes their lead back to 4. Three-quarters court pressure from the Mustangs. Trying to slow down one of the more up-tempo teams in the entire country, this Corpus Christi Islanders club from the Southland Conference. Spinning with the left, no, punched out. 6 to shoot. Sidestep 3, around and out. SMU lead pass. This could be showtime. Pierre with the hammer. Mustangs by 6. Jackson spinning, throws it up off balance. Digging out the rebound, Walters, and he calls a timeout. Heady play by the veteran.
You said could be showtime, and it definitely was. Number 5 showing off the hang time here on the hill.
Brian Burton on James Westling, Reese Sorensen on the sidelines, and Jaron Pierre, who had that monster dunk before the break. He was one of the top scorers in the entire country last year. 4th in the nation behind some big names, including PJ Haggerty at Memphis, who's now at Kansas State. He has 4 tonight, but a major spark with that slam.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys that can get going. Obviously, when you average over 20 and you're one of the top scorers in the country, you know what it can bring. And sometimes you need a play like this to get you going, and that is not quite LeBron James with the stretch, but it's in that same category. This young man not only has the athleticism, but he also makes plays. He averaged 4 assists a game last year as a Conference USA Player of the Year, and again, a great assist-to-turnover ratio. He has all the numbers that check the boxes, 38% from 3. He's the guy that can help them shore up their three-point shooting. So, again, it takes some time with a new program, new coach, but he's definitely one of those guys that has that X-factor ability. If he can become the player he was similar to last year and have that kind of production, this SMU team getting their full complement of players back could be extremely dangerous and knock on the door and get in to that tournament conversation that Coach Enfield wants.
Walters misses the front end of a 1-and-1. SMU's done a much better job of playing defense without fouling in this second half. They've committed just 2 fouls.
Yeah, I don't know if the matchup zone, Coach said, well, I love to be a man-to-man team, but we're going to do whatever works best. Well, today, that's what's working best is the matchup zone.
This might be it. Leads to an open corner 3 that's a miss from Yetna. SMU on the secondary break. Walters knifing, misses the gimme. And it stays with SMU courtside on this end of the floor.
Well, Walters has won a lot of basketball in his college career. I mean, he's been in the Final Four. He's had tournament runs. He hasn't been a guy on the floor doing it, but he's been in the program and seeing it and being a part of it. And some of the rust for him that he's frustrated with is just he hasn't played in a lot of games in quite some time. So getting these minutes in these early games helps a guy like that get more confidence as well.
He was on that Alabama Final Four team, then he went to Michigan, now SMU. Yigitoglu underneath, had it wrenched loose by Parker. Strong hands, and he fuels the break for the Islanders. Williams almost got away with a walk.
Yeah, kind of one of those rules of thumb as a big man, keeping the ball high. Yigitoglu still figuring that out. He's battling, he's tough, he's strong. But when he brings the ball down, it makes him small where even the smallest guy on the court can take it from you.
He has 10 points tonight, 7 rebounds, the 7-footer for SMU. 6-point lead for the Mustangs.
Yeah, just 2 possessions. Again, you want to separate from your opponent, and if you're Corpus, you want to keep it tight. Big possessions here.
Pierre, lock and load, a 3, buckets. First SMU 3 in this second half.
Well, there's a part of him you can tell he's really trying to do what coaches are asking him to do because he's not looking and hunting shots. He's almost, that was as open as you can get, and then he takes it. And I think the more comfortable he can get within coach's system, the more he can know when he can take and choose his spots. But right now, they need him to look more aggressive offensively like that last possession.
He's only attempted 6 shots tonight. So very much playing within the offense. Parker trying to funnel it through. Yigitoglu swallows it up. 9-point lead for the Mustangs. Yigitoglu with the height and the soft touch.
Yeah, I said it earlier, that's when he's best. Deep position, one dribble, and go up. That's when he plays his best basketball. The big man, just such a big target. Back-to-back buckets for the Mustangs.
SMU has built their largest lead of the night. Weaving through traffic. Gibson open for a corner three that's offline. SMU has ratcheted up the defensive intensity in this zone in this second half on this end.
Yeah, they got another scoring drought for Corpus Christi for 4-minute scoring drought, and it's led to that 9-0 run, similar to the 11-0 run they had in the first half. Again, it's been a low-scoring grind of a game for both teams. Hasn't been the prettiest, but these are the games you want to know that you can win ugly.
Crafty move by Parker. Got his man in the air and draws the foul on Edwards.
Well, part of what makes the matchup zone so tough is when you have a 7-footer in the paint protecting the rim on the backside, and he doesn't have to go out and guard. Makes it a lot easier, and good job finding a way to get to the free throw line so you can get some easy basket yourself and end this scoring drought.
Parker shot almost 80% from the foul line a season ago. This is an Islanders team that's going to make some noise in the Southland.
Yeah, you find it hard to believe with the way they're playing right now. They're going to be one of those teams, and it's a tough league. McNeese has obviously had a really good run in the past 2 years. That's where they finished second 2 years in a row with. But Wade not being there, Coach Armstrong will do a great job as well, but feels like the door is a little more open. Stephen F. Austin hires a new coach in Matt Brower from Texas Tech. And then we mentioned New Orleans, who was one of the last place teams last year. They've already beaten TCU, so college basketball, you never know from 1 year to the next what program can make the new jump, because everyone's grabbing players from so many different places, and you're losing players, so you just never know, and that's what makes college basketball so fun.
Right, and that New Orleans team, they went 4-27 last year, and they go on the road and they beat TCU in the opener. A foul on SMU on this end will put Corpus Christi at the line. But when Selection Sunday and the brackets come out, you always look for those Southland teams. McNeese State, Stephen F. Austin when Brad Underwood was there.
100%.
They're sneaky.
Yeah, I've coached in that league many years at Abilene Christian, along with Lamar myself. So you definitely have seen a lot of good runs come from that league. Abilene Christian actually beat Texas when Joe Golding was there, who I worked under. Yeah, Brad Underwood had some amazing runs as well there. A lot of good basketball played in that league. And again, even Coach Lutz getting to the tournament, it led him to go to Western Kentucky and then Oklahoma State. So a lot of good basketball played in the Southland Conference. But this team looks like they could definitely contend to be within that top 2 yet again this year.
What was that moment like for you when Abilene Christian took down Texas in the tournament?
I mean, it's just kind of one of those. It's like when you know, I wasn't on the staff, but when you know you're a part of building something like that,
right?
What an awesome thing, because Abilene Christian had transitioned from Division II to Division I. Never in a million years. I say it all the time. They should build a statue of Joe Golding over there. He played there as well. Now the head coach at Texas El Paso, UTEP. But yeah, just what an unbelievable thing to think, hey, we're going from Division II to Division I, and one day we're going to be the University of Texas. Not just a team, but University of Texas. So very cool. And that's what you love about college basketball, the underdog stories, the upsets. And SMU feels like they're an underdog in the ACC still, and they're looking to break that door down and get back into the dance themselves for the first time since 2017.
Which is wild, and I agree that they're kind of an underdog in the league, but they finished 4th last year. They shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be, but they don't have the, this is their second year, the first year in the league last year, second year this year, so you just don't have the longevity of it, so all the traditional teams are the teams that's still going to get picked oftentimes.
They are the new kids on the block. They lead by 8 with 8:45 to go, and Edwards is at the line. Free throw spits out. 2 points tonight for B.J. Edwards, a guy that averaged 9.9 last year. Coach noted him at shoot-around, said we have to have him be a consistent double-figures scorer for us this year.
Yeah, he said he'd like him to be in the teens as a guy who can, you know how much he defends, you know how much he makes plays for teammates. He was He's one of the top steals players in the country, defenders, that need a little more offense from number 0.
Head fake 3 from Gibson, short. Pierre on the trot, leaves it for Edwards. Washington, blow by, up and under, bumped, walled up, and the Islanders track it down. They fuel the break, down by 9. Jump ball, Arrow keeps it on this end.
Yeah, Corpus Christi's had some really good looks the last few possessions. The shot quality has gone up tremendously. They just still have not been able to make a field goal over their last 8. Just need one of those to break the lid off the basket so you can get a little more confidence, and there's the one we just spoke about.
With that make, they're 5 for 20. 25% shooting in this second half. Down by 7. Miller turning the corner, it pinballs off.
Yeah, there's probably no way you could have told Coach Shaw you'd be 27% from the field and just be down a couple possessions.
And Williams draws a foul on the floor. Team foul number 6 on SMU. Sends us to the under 8. SMU clinging to a 7-point lead with 7:42 to play here at Moody Coliseum. For Corpus Christi, Gibson led them with 19. He hit 5 threes, all in the second half. He's 1 for 8 from downtown in this one, and that only 3 in this one came a couple minutes into the first half. And for SMU, they had 3 guys north of 20, Miller, Edwards, and Pierre Jr. First time they'd had 3 20-point scorers in the last 2 decades. They had 5 players in double figures. Tonight, just 1 with Yigitoglu. He has 12.
Well, we said it in the open. It was supposed to be a track meet, and who could slow each other down. And both teams apparently have the formula to slow the other team down, because we only have 2 double-figure scores in the game when both teams had, again, 5 apiece in the last game. So this is one of those games. Scoring is a struggle. We have 39 missed shots for one team and 32 for the other. So hopefully this changes down the stretch and some players make some plays, but they don't care how well they shoot it. They just figure out this need 1 more point than the other team.
Next one's going in. Corner 3, there it is from D.A. Houston.
Right on cue. Just had to talk about the shooting a little bit. But 2 possessions down, Corpus Christi, they make threes very well. If that's one thing that can change this game for them, they haven't shot it well, but if they can start making some threes, it could be a game changer.
Pierre's rebuttal is short, and Houston fueling the break. Stop and start, hanging, lost it out of bounds, last touched by a Mustang. It will stay on this end. This is a big possession with less than 7 to go, and Corpus Christi within 4.
Well, they're now in the bonus as well, so any foul, any contact, wide open layup. Here we got a ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a beautifully executed inbounds play. Credit Jim Shaw, the head coach for the Islanders. It is a 1-possession game with 6:55 to play. Timeout on the floor. SMU 50, Corpus Christi 48 from Moody Coliseum here in Dallas. It's a 7-0 run for Corpus Christi over the last 67 seconds.
Well, here you can see in the corner, just unselfish play, that love your teammate basketball that coach talked about. Here you see a great back screen, falling asleep on the little things. Coach talked about it in shoot around as well. Defense is our biggest point of emphasis. What are the 3 things we're focused on most? Defensively, improving how we are getting things done. And right now, I'm sure that's what he's talking about in this timeout.
We'll take a quick one. SMU by 2. For the Islanders.
Well, execution, we talked about that, heart over height, and they are really just willing their way the last 1 minute back into this game. And now that belief starts kicking in. You're only 7 minutes away from a potential victory, down just one possession. And here SMU knows there's a sense of urgency, and it's Miller time.
Miller tries to feed Washington. 10 to shoot. Edwards, step back pop. Didn't draw any iron, and it's out of bounds to Corpus Christi. They can tie or take the lead on this possession.
Yeah, I thought Miller could have taken that shot, although it was a good read to make the pass. Probably a little bit too much on it. And again, just not quite enough familiarity playing with your teammate for him to expect that pass. But this is that time of game. We're not quite there yet, but it's definitely getting closer and closer to player time, where it gets a certain time in the game and players just rise to meet the moment to make the plays to go home victorious.
For SMU, is that Boopie Miller?
I mean, it has to be. He's your returning leading scorer. He's your point guard. He's your guy that leads the way.
So SMU has challenged the last play, which was out of bounds off of SMU. And this is a new rule this year in college basketball. Coaches each get a challenge. If they're wrong, you lose a timeout.
Yep. A lot of hands in there.
A lot of hands.
And if I understand the rule correctly, it has to be kind of inconclusive evidence to overturn it. It doesn't look very clear who it's off of. The last known contact looks to be more like it's off of SMU, but so 50-50, I don't know if there's enough there that you can overturn it.
Are you in favor of the new challenge rule in college basketball?
I think you gotta love it. I mean, you look at it all levels, NBA, NFL, they even have it in college women's volleyball. Those challenges is give the coaches a chance to say, wait a minute, we think something different. Let me contest it, take a look at it. So I think it has that reward penalty kind of nature to it too. If you get it right, you keep your timeout. If you don't, you lose a timeout. So there's a risk involved. You can't just challenge everything.
Here's the official language for this new rule. You have to have a timeout to challenge a call. You're given one challenge per game. If successful, the team will receive a second final challenge and retain that timeout. And teams can challenge plays until the final minute, and then it's into the hands of the official. But the idea is we saw a lot of games at the tail end of last season where, the last 5 or 6 minutes of a game, refs were going to the monitor almost every out of bounds play.
Yeah, it gets to be too much, and it doesn't have the flow of the game anymore, right? You can't. The players don't have a chance to continue to just play. Yeah, I think this one is a hard one to say. I mean, you can't see it go off of a Corpus Christi player. You don't necessarily see it go off of an SMU player either. But since that was the original call, there has to be some conclusive evidence to overturn it. Do you like the new rule yourself?
Huge fan.
Yeah.
Huge fan. I think it's a really good thing for the sport. And I know that these reviews can be a little cumbersome, and they take some time, and you have to reset the clock and make sure that you get it right. Check the shot clock.
Yep.
So it takes a while, but I like that, big picture, it should eliminate the number of times that refs are at the monitor.
And at the end of the day, you do what you do in this profession for about 30 to 40 calendar days on the year, and this is one of them. So if you got to take a few more minutes to get it right, they want the win at the end of this ball game.
And this one's been close. So the call on the floor is confirmed and upheld. So SMU loses a timeout, and they don't receive that second challenge. So with 6:31 to go, SMU's down to one timeout. Corpus Christi has 3 in their pocket. Next SMU foul will put the Islanders in the single bonus. The next Corpus Christi foul will put SMU in the double bonus. The Islanders have possession, down by 2. Who's the go-to guy for them? Because Parker's their leading scorer tonight with 12. But I think coming in, you would think Gibson or Houston or one of those other guys.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to their recruiting philosophy of we're recruiting a bunch of guys who we think can start. We don't know who the leading scorer is going to be. We don't have a go-to guy. We just want to make the right play on each possession and trust all of them. So I think within their given roles, I think anyone on this team can step up and make a play. Especially, again, given the fact you had 5 double-figure scores. Similar to SMU, I think Boopie Miller leads the way, but anyone can make plays down the stretch.
Houston, Williams from the elbow. Doesn't get the bounce.
Good shot quality, though. Got an open look at the elbow. Those are the possessions that you want. See how SMU responds.
Inside of 6 minutes to play. Pierre Jr. fall away. Tough angle, won't go. Washington out of bounds, and it will be Corpus Christi basketball.
Yeah, I love Washington again. We've talked about him so much. He does the little things, lays it all on the floor. You see the fight to go get it. 2-hand rebound, throws it off of Corpus Christi. But was he out of bounds first? They say he was. No chance to challenge, and play resumes.
And that is a play SMU cannot challenge because they lost the last one about 90 seconds ago.
It's also a play that the refs don't have to go to the monitor and view again to slow the game down. We can keep the game going.
Islanders out front. Houston for the lead. Wide right, and Pierre snatches it away for SMU.
Yeah, the matchup zone kind of saving the day again for SMU.
Miller, step back. That is a big shot for the Mustangs.
That's what they need. It is Miller time. Last year, if you remember, and even this year, he is the guy you want the ball in his hands to make the play. He's either making a shot, making a play for himself, or for a teammate.
Just his second made field goal. He has 9 points tonight. Down low, Williams is blocked. And Miller draws a foul. Heady play by the point guard. Slams on the brakes, and the big guy, Ambrose, commits the foul.
Well, so many games in college basketball come down to a couple of possessions. We have a 2-possession game. But what it really comes down to oftentimes is who do you go to? You asked a great question. Who do you go to and go through to get the victory? This is what makes Miller who he is he can be a closer for your team. Maybe this game wasn't as pretty as he'd like it to be. Obviously, 2 of 13 is not his typical night. But when it matters most, he's the guy that led the run in the first half with those 6 points, and now he is the one that can help you close this game as he just hit the elbow jumper. Now he's at the free throw line. Now he's getting his team going. And again, you must have guys that can close out games if you're going to win at a high level in college basketball.
82% from the line a season ago, a rare miss. 5-point SMU lead. Islanders with possession. SMU staying in that matchup zone. Corner 3, high arcing, off. Offensive rebound, Williams. And they call Yigitoglu with the foul reaching in.
Yeah, just continuing to get offensive rebounds. They are up in this game in the rebounding advantage. And there you see another one from number 6, Williams. He has 16 rebounds on the game. If he's able to convert at the line, he'll have a double-double this evening.
Third meeting all time. SMU leads it 2-0. They won during the COVID year, 91-54. That was the shortened season for the Mustangs. They went 11-6 and 7-4 in the American back then. Williams cans both free throws, and he has that double-double. 11 points and 16 rebounds.
8 offensive rebounds. You talk about will and tenacity.
Miller's threes off the mark. There's number 17 for Williams.
He's been a grown man in this one. He's got an open 3. He made one earlier. Can he do it again? He does.
Gets the bounce.
We got a tie ball game here in Moody Coliseum.
Even at 53. underneath Pierre, Baker's through.
And who found him? Miller as well, making plays for his teammates, finding Pierre, doing what he does best, get another bucket.
4th assist for Miller. Crowd is rising. This is for the lead from the corner. Rebound Edwards.
So they figured out a sweet spot in the zone, getting to the corners now, being able to get some open looks.
Miller loses his balance, and he draws a foul on Corpus Christi. Sends us to our final media timeout. We got a banger here at Boopie Coliseum. SMU leads by 2. Three and a half to play here at Boopie Coliseum in Dallas. SMU leads 55-53. Miller taking over.
Yeah, we talk about it often over here. It is Miller time when it's closing. Smart plays leading to buckets, leading to fouls, leading to him getting to the free throw line. And here he makes a play off the ball screen. And now he's at the free throw line again from getting fouled. So you see at the end of a game, you asked that great question, and it's a question that coaches talk about often. How do we close the game? Who do we play through? Who do we go to? What plays are we running? Well, sometimes it's just having the right player to go through.
Get him the ball and get out of his way. He's now 7 for 9 from the foul line. He hits them both. 8 for 10 tonight. Up to 12 points, SMU by 4.
And it's not the prettiest game from him. It's not a game that you're going to go celebrate and show the highlights from necessarily, but they know he is the reason why they're winning this game, and that's something you can build momentum on, knowing you can win close games.
Corpus Christi needs a basket. They find the cutter, missing a dunk, and a foul called on Yigitoglu. This will put the Islanders at the line, down by 4.
Yeah, and as much as we're talking about what SMU's doing offensively, Corpus continues to respond. They've gotten high-quality possessions, they've gotten great looks, and now they're going back to the free throw line, keeping this game where it could be right at a 1-possession, 2-possession game.
Yetna cans the first one. Another Division II transfer from Lincoln, Missouri, where he scored over 15 points per game, grabbed 6+ rebounds per game, and was a second-team All-American. And a foul called against Williams, fighting for the rebound. SMU's possession. And we trot to the other end and shoot free throws down here with SMU leading by 3.
Yeah, tough break too. When you're in the bonus, all these little things come into play. Not only the fouls and the trips to the line, but how successful can you be? Last time Corpus split, Washington now has a chance to see if he can get to stretch this game from being just a 1 or 2 possession game.
He was a 69% foul shooter last year at Wichita State. And he knocks it down. SMU is 18 of 23, 78% as a team tonight from the line.
Yeah, Washington has been a big catalyst in this game for the Mustangs. Only 11 points, which is the second leading scorer in the game for them. So that says a lot, and 2 big free throws. Going man-to-man here, getting out of the zone. Go right to the go-to man. So you say, who are they going to go to? Well, it has stepped up to be Mr. Williams, Mr. Double-Double. Now has 14 points, 17 rebounds in just 27 minutes of play. He's made both of his free throws. He's made 2 threes. He has done it all, and he's just so physical. He initiates contact. I mean, Yigitoglu is going to need probably an ice bath after playing against this young man, because He has just been a relentless worker nonstop this game.
He's 6'8", 215 pounds. He was a JUCO All-American 2 years ago. This is his second year in the Islander program. Last year, he averaged 6.5 points and 4.5 rebounds per game. But he had a triple-double in a game last season. Goes 0 for 2 from the line, and Yigitoglu snatches the rebound.
Yeah, big free throws there both ways. SMU converts, goes 2 of 2. Islanders respond and go 0 of 2. Free throws matter, and they are mattering big in this one, and they will continue to.
A 4-point swing. Edwards pulls up from 17. Yigitoglu with the rebound, finds the cutter. Pierre doesn't get the bounce. 2.5 to play. Islanders down by 5 with the ball. Gibson knifing, pulls up, sputters off. Williams trying to keep it alive. A ton of contact and a foul called on Corpus Christi. And it's on Williams.
And the SMU defense, they changed back to man, but it really threw off the rhythm of Corpus Christi too, because they got pressure in front of them. When you're playing against the matchup, you have all this space. You can kind of think, breathe. You have room to operate. The man-to-man, they've crawled up in their space and really kind of threw off the timing and the rhythm that they were used to. So nice adjustment there by Coach Enfield. And Washington, again, he has been the difference maker in this game, probably the player of the game in this game so far, as he is now the tied leading scorer at 12, 7 rebounds, and just consistent big play after big play, whether it's a loose ball, a rebound, a defensive stop. He has been a warrior for the Mustangs.
He's made his last 3 free throws. And 4 in a row from Corey Washington. SMU's 21 of 25 as a team from the line. They lead by 7. 2 minutes to play. Houston into traffic, and he gets bailed out by a whistle.
Yeah, good call. Good job by Houston. Houston's been really good for Corpus Christi Islanders as well. Physical guard who's strong and tough, and his downhill play rewards him in a trip to earn 2.
These teams have been living from the foul line. Neither team has made a field goal since the 4:02 mark of this second half.
So your free throws matter. 2 of 12 for the Mustangs, the last 12 shots. 1 of 7 for the Islanders. It has been the opposite of a track meet. It has been a free throw shooting contest, and those who make them are going to probably seal this victory, as SMU's 81%, Corpus Christi 71%, and so far that has been the difference in the game. 21 made free throws for the Mustangs.
1:40 to play. SMU on the handle. Miller fouled out front by Cam Parker.
Okay, this is where he's so good. He just can control the game. He knows how to draw those little fouls, get the bump, and get back to the foul line. 21 of 26. Meanwhile, Corpus Christi 12 of 18. So they've made more free throws than their opponent has attempted, which is often a stat that you look at for aggressiveness. And some teams even have it as a goal going in. Hey, we want to make more free throws than they attempt. We want to keep them off the line, and we want to live at the line. And SMU's gotten that done.
Is that a key to their success for the entire season? I mean, this looks like a team with their athleticism, lack of three-point shooting at some spots, that maybe we can have an edge from the line.
Yeah, I think the edge for them is going to have to be a part. That's going to have to be a part of their formula. That's a great question. I think a lot of things change when you get your freshman Toombs back. He's arguably as good as anyone on this roster, so you're going to be able to play through him in a lot of different ways. But yes, the three-point shooting is not going to be their strength this season, but the defense is going to have to be just like that.
Miller off and running. Pierre looking for the dagger. SMU by 11. Timeout Corpus Christi with 70 seconds to play.
Just their third three of the game, but the second one for Pierre. They needed him in the corner, and guess who found him again? Mr. Miller finding the target in the corner.
Well, it took almost 39 minutes, but SMU with a transition three.
Transition is something we thought we'd see much more of in this game. We haven't seen much, but it is right when you need it. 8-ball, corner pocket, money ball.
Pierre's in double figures now with 12. And quietly, SMU has 4 guys in double figures tonight. They had 5 in their win over Tarleton State on Monday. But this one's been very different. They hung 96 on the board Monday, 66 in this one, but you have to give the Islanders a lot of credit.
No, you have to absolutely give it to the Islanders. They're the one who set the tone for this game defensively from the beginning. But you also have to give credit to SMU. You have to be able to win in different ways if you're going to win. They had 17 wins last year. If you want to get to that 20-win mark, which is often a mark you need, great shot in the corner by their best shooter to respond. But often that 20-win mark, you're talking NCAA tournament, you need. So in order to get those, you have to be able to win these grind out, ugly, not as pretty, and you see Coach livid in the timeout for giving away the corner three, knowing that is the best shooter. He had 5 threes in the second half. You can't give him any daylight, and Coach knows this game is not over until it's over.
Frustrations mounting for Andy Enfield, who said at shoot-around that he's not much of a screamer and yeller. He's fired up in this last time out.
No question, because he is a winner, and he does not want anything to do with losing, and that is a losing play right there after you get transition to give up a three to the best. But again, Corpus Christi is one of those teams, they're not going to let up. They're not the score. There's 1 minute left, and they know they're in the bonus, so they're going to squeeze everything they can out of the orange. That's what makes them who they are.
8-point lead for the Mustangs. They have the ball right at a minute to go. 4 guys with 4 fouls for Corpus Christi, including Williams and Parker, their top 2 scorers and rebounders in this one. Inbound to Miller. Pierre circles to Edwards. They get it ahead to Washington. Islanders with 17 to shoot and 45 on the game clock, content not fouling. Miller drive and kick after he draws a crowd, and Edwards with the money ball.
That corner has been good to them, and another play made by Miller. Took his time, got to the paint, kick for the 3.
Williams off the mark. Miller the rebound. Shot clock is off. An 11-point lead for SMU. Corpus Christi will not foul, and the Mustangs will move to 2-0. Our final score from Dallas, SMU 69, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi 58. The Islanders came in here on the road, fought their tails off, but ultimately